Hi, Michael William Denny of ThunderShamanism.com, ThunderWizard.com, and AskTheShaman.com. So today we're going to continue our discussion in the book Shamanism for White People, Reclaiming Our Animist Heritage. And today we're going to be talking about the soulless white man. And what does that mean? Are white people soulless? Do we have the ability to practice shamanism? Are we the great white devils, or are we just like everybody else? Before I get into that, if you're not familiar with my work, go ahead and click on the links below. You can buy the book on Amazon, or you can click on the other links to find out what it is I do and see all the rest of my books and DVDs. Or if you want to talk to me directly, you want one-on-one counseling, rune reading, instruction in shamanism, click on AskTheShaman.com and my phone will ring and you can talk to me. So, the soulless white man. How do you feel when you hear that? Do you get defensive? Do you want to defend your white race? Do you feel guilty? Do you feel like yes? Or do you have feelings of shame about the things that Europeans have done over the past 500 to 1500 years? Or are you somewhere in the middle with all of that? It's important that we understand and we look at that. Because until we deal with that feeling, we're not going to be able to tap into the spirit of animism and shamanism. We're either going to be doing, one of two extremes, potentially. One is, people get so defensive about their own race, then you run into the hardcore folkish people who talk about, white people this, and only white people can, practice Asatru, and then you get into the hardcore racist. Racists really, when it comes down to it, they're full of shame, they're full of fear. The whole idea, it cracks me up when I hear people talk about the white race is going to be, bred out of existence and they have to save the white race. I mean, come on, really? Do you know how many white people there are in the world? I mean, you really think, anyway. But even so, the fear attached to that, and a lot of racists will talk about how tough they are and how fearless they are. Yet they go and they buy all these guns and they're so afraid of other people and other cultures and other races. Really, fear is a sign that you're not as strong as you think you are. So, that's one extreme. The other extreme is you go in the full-on, hardcore, new age, neo-shaman, where somebody wants to practice Native American shamanism, and they dress like what they think Native Americans dress like, and they completely get rid of their own identity and their own culture out of an understandable desire to get away from the damage. Perhaps these are people who have been brought up in dysfunctional, destructive homes, and they want to get away from that, and they want to get back to something that they feel is nurturing and is healing and is more earth-centered. So you have these two extremes, but they're coming from the same place, and that same place is a place of fear and of shame and a place of emptiness. And that emptiness is a result of our ancestors, hundreds, up to a couple thousand years ago, walked away from their eternal connection to their ancestral heritage, going all the way back to the first humans, who, by the way, were dark-skinned Africans. I'm sorry if that bothers you, but they were. Talk about that another time. So, in order to get that space healed, it's important that we connect to the old ways. But if all we're doing is either excluding all other paths, which on one extreme, well, that's different, that's their path, and blah, 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 and they don't have any open mind to understand the connections and the value that we can get from it. And the other side is to completely try and deny who you are, and, like Rachel Dolezal, pretend that you're something that you're not. Either of those paths are equally destructive and don't help. But I understand why people do that. It comes from that emptiness that we have in our society. When somebody talks about the soulless white man or the white devil, you know what? There's a part of us that hears that and agrees with it. When I look back at the things that we've done, the slavery, racism, colonialism, even global warming. I put this all into that same category. It comes from that same place where we were disconnected. We were literally yanked out of our connection to Mother Earth, and we get stuck in our heads. And our modern society has been stuck in its head for so long. It's created so much damage, and so we want to reconnect. So it's important that we look at this and that we honestly look at our feelings about our racial background and how we connect with that. So the good news is that you can be very proud of your heritage, whatever your ethnic background is, without having to separate yourself or exclude other people or any of that stuff. The healing place is to be proud of your own heritage, to practice your own heritage, and also to be completely open and accepting of others. Our ancestors were very pragmatic, and they had no problem mixing and matching with other cultures or other races or other traditions, as if the practical end result was that it helped them. But first we have to get back and get whole within ourselves. So anyway, that's enough rambling for me on this. If you want more information, you can go ahead and click on the link below, and you can buy the book, Shamanism for White People, Reclaiming Our Animist Heritage. You can click on Thunder Shamanism, thunderwizard.com, see all the other stuff that I do, look at all my other DVDs and books. And if you want to talk to me directly, click on asktheshaman.com, follow the instructions, and you can get personalized rune readings or one-on-one instruction from me or counseling, whatever you'd like. And you can also support this channel if you like what I'm doing. Thanks for your time.